Habitot's mission is to foster early childhood learning, to educate and support parents in the job of raising young children, and to bring community together. All the exhibits are designed especially for young children. They're sized and scaled so that young hands and young bodies can access everything here. We're dedicated to this very critical first 5 years of learning and life when kids need lots of opportunities for exploration and play and discovery, creativity and interaction with their parents and other children.
As soon as I walked in, I was like, okay, here is a great place. Here's a place for me and my kids to really have a fantastic time. And where I know that everyone they interact with is going to be a positive influence on them, where they're going to do fun stuff. They just feel comfortable here. And that, I think, is the best thing about it.
I like that they really promote learning through play. That's what I really love. And growing up, I didn't necessarily have that. It was always very, very academic, and academics weren't supposed to be fun. There it's fun, and you can actually see kids learning, and you can see the light bulbs turning on in their head with the various activities that they do.
Habitot is special because it pays attention to the ways that children learn and offers a diversity of learning experiences. The activities are meant to engage children's senses, and children at this age developmentally absorb education through their senses. In the wet play, of course, they feel the wetness of the water. They are allowed to do finger play and feel the substance, whatever it is, in their hands. And that's an amazing world for children because all aspects of their little beings are put to use in that environment.
The favorite thing I see in the museum is when a parent is really engaged with their child. They're down on the floor, they're looking in their child's eyes, they're asking them engaging questions, and they're really listening to what their child has to say. That is gold in the bank for a parent-child relationship. And I think what I like seeing most about the museum is that we create these situations, these little environments for families to do that with their children, to take time out from the phone ringing and the bills that need to be paid and the house that needs to be cleaned, and really spend some time with your child.
When you go in Habitot, there's this lack of intimidation for parents and for caregivers and for grandparents that you realize as you sit side by side with another parent who's trying to quiet down a fussy 2.5-year-old, that there are a variety of ways to parent, and you can take tips from the other parents and they can take tips from you.
Parents don't often have the opportunity just to relax into an experience with their children. At Habitot, the kids are engaged. There's help on the floor there so that they receive instruction. And the parents are left to observe their children. And there's a tremendous amount of information for them to see. They can watch their children at work, and they can watch their children investigating and exploring. They can see different developmental ages and stages all around them. So it's kind of a natural learning environment for parents.
I got to watch my daughter playing in the shopping area. There's like a greengrocery store, and an older boy was there, and they were playing with each other, and she didn't understand about change. And so he was teaching her about change. She suddenly was excited, you know, she was paying for stuff and getting change and doing all this stuff. And you get to see as a parent how these little things that seem so unimportant, these things which are after all just play, are actually fundamental building blocks of how your child learns to trust other people, how he or she learns to help other children and other people. For all that it appears to be just a great place to have a really fantastic time, it's actually a really important place where children learn the skills that we all want them to learn and have when they're adults.
The biggest thing I learned from Habitot in terms of being a parent is allowing my kid to explore, allowing my kid to investigate, and allowing my kid to be independent and not necessarily step in or interfere with what she's learning. Letting her make her own decisions, letting her figure out things on her own. And I think that's what one of the biggest attributes that the museum has, is allowing kids to become independent thinkers.
We have children who come to Habitot who say, I want to live at Habitot because it is exactly the place that feels just right for them. Everything here is where they can learn to their heart's content. They don't realize they're learning, but they are discovering, and they're inventing, and they're problem solving. And this makes it easy for parents to take that time and know that their kids are getting really good experiences when they come to Habitot. They know their kids really are building literacy skills and scientific concepts and social behaviors that will help them when they get to school.
I just can't imagine there not being a Habitot. It provides so much to the community, especially to those populations who might not otherwise have this kind of experience. You know, other people who have children that can afford preschool and go to child development centers have these experiences, but many don't. It's a rich environment that just is open to so much creative development in terms of meeting young children's needs.
You see the growth, and it's just incredibly, incredibly wonderful and warm. And I think that Habitot is the great equalizer in that. You don't have to be affluent, you don't have to be of a certain race, you don't have to be of a certain neighborhood. You just have to want to be a parent who's trying to do the very best they can.
I want my kids to be happy. You know, I want my kids to sleep well at night their whole lives. I want my kids to be confident in how they can help other people. I want them to feel proud of themselves. See, and now I'm going to choke up. But that's the truth. And Habitot is a place where all the parents feel like that. And that's great.